Hey there everyone, my name is Spin, and yesterday I released a video about patch 1.02, but actually just today Riot released the full patch notes, and it's a lot more than any of us expected. I'm actually just going to go through them right here on camera and we'll review them together. Okay, so we have changes to 4 operators. The Viper changes, most of us already know about it. I talked about it yesterday, but basically her toxic screen now goes through walls. Her snakebite inflicts a new debuff called Fragile, and what Fragile does is it basically makes it so that any player who takes on that debuff will have increased damage taken to them. Here's a pretty big nerf to Viper. Her poison cooldown activation has been increased from 0.5 seconds to 6 entire seconds. That's a pretty big nerf. You won't be able to pop the poison orb, then put it back down, then pop it again, put it back down. Now you're gonna have to wait 6 seconds in between the activations. That's a pretty long time. Next we have Jet. It's a pretty quick one. Her Blade Storm now refreshes when you kill Phoenix during his run it back. Previously, if you killed Phoenix when he was ulting, you wouldn't get a Blade Storm refresh. Now you do. Makes a lot of sense to me. Basically, it's the same thing with Reyna. When Reyna gets a kill on Phoenix's run it back, she gets a Soul Orb. Before, she couldn't, and it didn't seem fair. Cypher here just got a lot of fixes. Nothing really nerfed or buffed. The biggest one here is they added prevention for spy cam going through the teleporter doors on bind when placed on the frame from the outside. Before, if you kind of placed it near the teleporter doors or right on the edge of the teleporter doors, some weird stuff would happen with him. Now, not so much the case. This is a big one, and I wanted to make a video about this, but I'm glad I waited. Basically, they adjusted tuning around screen effects when entering and exiting smokes. So basically what would happen previously is if you push through a smoke, you would be at a massive disadvantage because there are screen effects that are activated when you're in a smoke. But they basically reduce that, so when you push through a smoke, those screen effects won't be active as long. Riot has said here that they still want to make it risky to push through a smoke, as it should be, but just not as risky as it was before. As far as weapon changes go, the Bucky is the only weapon that has received any. The crouch walking accuracy has been increased from 3.45 to 4.1, walk accuracy decreased, and run accuracy increased. What's actually happening here is a few patches ago, Riot introduced some tuning so that you would enter the walking accuracy state a little bit slower when you're coming from a running state. But in the process of doing so, the Bucky got left behind in terms of some tuning. So they're basically getting this up to date now. I don't think it's going to be a massive change to the Bucky, but this is what Riot had to say about it. This was making it so that the right click was much more accurate on the run than intended. We fixed this now so that running with the right click is significantly more inaccurate than walking or standing still. We've also increased the inaccuracy for crouch walking to more appropriately match the amount of evasion it provides. Here's the big one we've all been waiting for. Competitive mode is going live today. If you're seeing this video right now, it's probably already live. The new top rank is going to be called Radiant. There's new iconography. If you want to learn more about that, check out this video right here. Okay, now we're moving on to map updates, and there's been a lot of changes to maps, but they all follow the same theme. Riot's basically making a lot of deep corners easier to clear by putting obstructions there. So here are the main Haven updates, and you can see what I mean if you look closely. Over here on Garage, we've got this hay bale, which is going to make clearing this corner a little bit easier. Here towards C, you've got this obstruction right here. Over on A-Link, you have this box here, which has been changed. Previously, it was a 2-stack box. Now it's just a 1-stack, so you can see right over it. Here towards B, you've got the addition of these boxes right here, which again is going to make the angle a little bit easier to clear. On the other side of B towards A, you've got this right here, again, doing the same thing. Here on A short, you've got the addition of the sewer pipe right here, which I assume is going to make it impossible to camp that corner. Next up on Ascent, we kind of have the same thing. These barrels have been added to the top of the midsection here. Going towards A, we have these crates and barrels right over here by the butcher shop. And over towards Catwalk, we have some more crates and barrels in this corner right here. On Bind, in the bathroom, we've got some carpets here, which is doing the same thing for the corner. And a pretty big change coming to the B short section on Bind. This wall right here is now a curved wall instead of being a 90-degree angle wall. Just one change for Split, and it's going to be the addition of this steel beam right here towards the defender spawn. There have been a lot of changes to the HUD and UI, but nothing that affects gameplay. Same thing with the battle pass, and same thing with the contract and agent selection. Here's a really big one that players have been asking for a long time. The early surrender option has been added. To do so, all you have to do is type /FF in chat, or type forfeit, or type concede, or type surrender, and the vote will be initiated. Just remember that each team can only vote once per half, and you have to have played at least 8 rounds before you can initiate a vote. Also keep in mind that if you surrender, the winning team will get the necessary amount of rounds added to their score to get them to 13, and you'll get the loss credit for each one of those rounds too. Don't forget that Riot's MMR factors in the final score to figure out how much MMR to give or take away from you. So even if you think you're going to lose a match, it's probably worth it to keep playing just to even out that MMR as much as possible. Now this one I didn't expect to see so soon. There has been an update to tagging. Basically, if you're tagged, the movement speed has been reduced from 80 to 70%. If you've been hit through a wall penetration, the movement speed has been reduced again from 35 to 25%. They've also increased the time it takes to reach the desired slow amount when tagged by 100%. What that means is that when you get tagged, you'll hit the slow state faster than before. It seems like there's been a lot of changes to Spike Rush. I know Spike Rush isn't super popular at the moment, so I'll just let you guys review this on your own time. As always, there are performance updates. Riot has said that these updates mainly help mid to high spec machines. And now lastly, we're moving on to bug fixes. The Sovereign Ghost skin is now fixed, so you should be able to use it as intended and upgrade it with Radianite as intended. Apparently Toggle Walk was broken, but now it can be used. If you use Toggle Walk, you're crazy. Ooh, this is one that I and a lot of players have been finding. Fixed a bug where the spike could automatically plant when you walked onto a plant site while it was in your inventory. That bug has been freaking me out. I'm so glad that this is not all in my head, and I'm glad to see that it is gone. This is a big one right here. Fixed a bug where the spike would float in the air if it had been placed on a sage wall. I'm sure a lot of players have encountered that one. Finally, Riot's acknowledging that the current overtime system isn't really fair, and they say they're working on a fair solution to that, so I'm glad we're gonna get that soon. I wish we got it during this patch because we're supposed to be exiting the beta version of ranked here, but hopefully we'll get it soon. Hey everybody, my name is Spin. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more stuff like this, please consider liking and subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. As always, peace and love, everybody.